Greetings and welcome one and all to a new game, This War of Mine. Now, as the name already implies, this is a game that kind of focuses on war, but probably not the war that you're familiar with, or at least not the angle that you're familiar with. This game, in a nutshell, is a survival time management game. I'm sure you're familiar with those sorts of games. It was released this month on the 14th of November, I believe, and costs about £14.99 on Steam, translated to your currency as needed. It is developed and produced by 11-bit studios, and much as this kind of says, hey, fuck the war, it kind of takes more of a realistic and necessarily grim kind of take on the war and survival scenarios. This is not a war about zombies or about some sort of sci-fi apocalyptic scenario. This is a rather cut to the bone sort of, this is what real war is like. We will be surviving in the husk remains of a city that has been besieged by military forces for quite some time. The game forces you to answer certain questions that you might not be comfortable answering about yourself. Honestly, what would you be willing to do to survive? Where is the line drawn, and what kind of stimulus would be required for you to cross that line? I think this is a game that will benefit from less of an initial prologue introduction from myself and more of a let's get in and actually experience the game for ourselves kind of introduction. So we're going to jump in. I do have a continue here. I've played the game for about 2 hours so far, just to kind of get to grips with the game, initially test out a recording environment. I believe the volume and all that is pretty set up. But beyond that 2-hour mark, which I think I got to like day 7, I don't know anything about this game. So I know the controls, I know some of what's going to be happening. This is procedurally generated though, so I mean, you know, with all procedurally generated games, they're blind to a certain degree, but most of my games, I would appreciate if people don't spoil anything, especially if there's some sort of quest or particularly kind of harrowing decision that needs to be made. Try to leave the spoilers to a bare minimum if at all possible, but as always, I welcome any kind of mechanics advice. Okay, these are our 3 survivors down here, and as you can see, it's kind of a well, 2.5D representation with a very artistic kind of style in how it almost looks like it's been sketched, that I quite like. And here we go. Here's the prologue. How long has this siege lasted? It's hard to say when every day is a struggle to survive. The city is crawling with snipers. Shelling is ordinary business almost every night. Phones don't work. There is a shortage of food and meds, and many people are left homeless. Bruno and Marco have always been good friends, so when the war broke out, they decided to stick together. They met Pavel while scavenging for supplies. He used to be Pogren, that must be the city, Pogren's star football player. Now he's just another homeless victim of the war. So they teamed up, hoping for the best. Now, the backstory from what I've been able to gather is that this city is besieged by government forces. There's like a civil war going on, and it's been quite some time. Someone should search for supplies at night. Yes, they should. Now, what we are going to need to do, there are a lot of icons on the screen, but as you can see, I've got a little bit of a countdown, so I'm going to explain as we go. We've got, let's have a look at you, your bio. Marco. I thought I'd been through hell before. I'm a fireman. I've entered blazing buildings to save lives, more times than I care to remember, but back then I had people teamed up against a common foe, namely the fire. Nowadays, your former neighbor can kill you because your grandparents spoke a different language than his. This is true hell on earth. Skilled scavenger, that is fantastic for us. Let's have a look at Bruno, good cook by the looks of it. Before the war, I used to own a restaurant. I even had my own TV show, Bruno's Cuisine. I'm sure you've seen it. I haven't, I'm afraid, Bruno. I visited beautiful places where I was filmed cooking exquisite dishes. All that seems of no importance now, don't you think? Nowadays, you're lucky if you get your hands on some canned meat or a bag of rice. And who knows how long this war is going to last. And finally, Pavel, who is a fast runner and slightly sick. Before this whole mess began, I lived with my wife and my son in a better part of the city. I haven't seen them in a long time. I hope they're okay. I'm not doing so well, as you can see. Who needs football players during a war? Nobody cares about sports when every day can be the last. So I scavenge the ruins like everyone else, hoping for the best. Okay, well, you're slightly sick. It seems in the last time I played as well, one of them was slightly sick. Now, any sort of ailment, whether they're hungry, tired, or wounded, will affect how fast they can move around. With the proper tools, we can build stuff that we need. Yes, we're going to have to be doing that. All of these things, these hand icons, can be scavenged and maybe find something or interacted with. And looking through the debris there, we've got a bunch of components. We've got some water, we've got some wood, and we've even got some electrical components. Okay, fair enough. Right, Bruno, I would like you to try to get through that door. Pavel, what's over here? Nothing, it's just a hole in the floor. Okay, this is going to be our kitchen, our kind of medic area. It's got a medicine cabinet, bandages, medicine, and, ooh, what's this? We've got just herbs, lockpicks, more parts, water, and electronics. Take them all. Now, this house is basically where we spend the day. The day is too dangerous to go outside. There are snipers that will just flat out kill you. So you don't go out don't go out in the day. You go out in the night, and that's the time where you're going to scavenge. Now, to get through here, I need a lockpick. I'm not ready to use my lockpicks yet. Grab more of that. Exit there. So Bruno, everyone wants my attention. Damn it! It's like Robocraft. Right, I would like Bruno to go down there. Check that door. I mean, early on in the day, this is the best thing that we can do. Also check that there. We just need to see what's around. Anything in here? No, it doesn't look like. Okay, right. Well, I can use a lockpick there, but I don't want to. We're going to have to clear this rubble. Now, that's going to take time. You can make tools. You can make all sorts of things that will help with that, in fact. We're going to take all of that. You can have shovels. You can have crowbars for trying to break open doors. We're just going to have Pavel use his hands there. Can you get through there? Yes, you can. Okay. Right, well, first, let's go over here and actually see what we've got the materials to build. At night time, as I mentioned, you scavenge at night, so we'll be sending one person out. I think you can only ever have one person doing one thing, and only one of them can go scavenging. And it takes a very dead-like light feel to the game. You've got stealth elements, you've got other people that you might encounter. Some will be friendly, some will decidedly not be friendly. And you have to make the best whilst trying to scavenge for more parts. We can build a few things. Now, a bed is actually really important. Offers a decent sleep without back pain, no matter if it's night or day. This is going to be very, very important for us early on. Where do I want to place the bed? Kind of want to place it upstairs, honestly, in a way. But at the same time, that's possibly not the safest place. So I'm going to have the bed down here. Let's place the bed there. Bruno should go off to do that. Pavel, can you continue to dig through that rubble there? Now, it takes a very long time to do anything like this, like digging rubble or any particularly laborious task if you don't have tools. So that's something that we're going to want to get to pretty quickly. But first, I think it's going to be important to get this set up, because if we can have Pavel rest, then there's a small chance that he's going to just gradually get better. It would be drastically improved if we had medicine for him, but we don't at the moment, nor do we have any food. Everyone is going to start getting hungry soon. Now, when you leave for the night to go hunting, in fact, you're sorted there, so actually, when you swap places with Pavel, go lie down. You can rest, you're sick. But once the timer reaches around here, I think it's like 8 PM, that's nighttime. You choose where you're going to go, who you're going to send out, what equipment they're going to take with them. Now, we've got someone who is a good scavenger. I'm not sure exactly how that affects things, but you're slightly wounded as well. That's not good. I hadn't noticed that, but ooh, we've got some food. That's fantastic. We've also got some water. That may mean that we can have... we may be able to get Bruno to do some work with that. That is going to have to be lockpicked Yeah, we're gonna use the lockpick there. There's kind of a central inventory. Not one person has the lockpick. It's just in the inventory for our survivors here at base. So that will cut down on kind of inventory management shenanigans for us. It is currently 17 degrees Celsius, which is tolerable. It's a bit chilly, but it's not too bad. They're fairly well clothed by the look of it. Right, we've got even more food. We've also got medicine. Now, that is... There are two types of medicine. There's herbal medicine, which is like, you know how it is. And then there's actual medicine, which is more or less guaranteed to fix you as long as you get rest and recuperation once you've taken it. There's also books and loads of different things that will help people. There are also cigarettes, and cigarettes come in two forms. Just kind of poor grade roll-ups or high grade roll-ups. Now, we don't necessarily need a simple heater yet, but we are going to need a crude stove to be able to make food, and that is a really, really high important item. So, now we could put it in there with the fridge, and I see no reason not to, so let's get that stove built up there. Bruno, let's get you down here. But as I said, some people smoke, some people don't. If we have a look at our things, we'll get a quick overview. Some thoughts. Our shelter is one depressingly ugly ruin. We should do something about it. We only have one chair. We have one bed, but we could use more. It's hard to get a good night's sleep on hard, cold concrete. We don't have a radio. We don't know what's going on in the city. We really miss books. A good book could help us forget the horrors of war. Staying here is slightly better than living on the streets. We lack cigarettes. We have breaches in the walls. Our shelter is not safe, and we have to constantly be on guard. So that's letting us know generally how our people feel about this shelter, and also some of the larger concerns, such as the massive gaping holes all over the place. We need to address that pretty soon. You can upgrade things as well. This upgrade here. In fact, we could do that right now. We're not going to. Enables the manufacture of more sophisticated items and appliances, providing us with more options to get food or meds and trade goods. We can upgrade it further to make electrical improvements. We don't need to make electrical improvements at the moment. We could make a moonshine still. That takes water and sugar and will allow you to make booze, which is an okay bartering commodity. But I'm not too enthused about that at the moment. Damn it, we don't have enough to make a rainwater collector. That is a shame. That is actually quite a big shame. Okay, let's have a quick look. We don't have enough for both of these. I think we could get by with one bed for now. But ideally we would like more. We don't have enough for both of these either, which is a shame. But we are going to make a metal workshop. Now, can I put it over there? No, apparently not. I'll put it over there then. Now, the metal workshop is going to allow us to make tools, such as the lockpicks, the crowbars, that sort of thing. So it's going to be very, very important for us early on. And it looks like our time is running out. I'm not sure if you can quite see it, but we've exited the kind of black time band, and we've entered the red time band. We've got 1 hour to go. Now, here, we could make food. We could even upgrade it if we had the components. A more efficient stove allows us to prepare cooked food more efficiently, saving fuel. Not yet, though. Now, we've got 2 food. If we can get some vegetables, then Bruno, being a good cook, will be able to... Actually, I think anyone can, but Bruno is an especially good cook. So I think his meals satisfy for longer. But we'd be able to make more satisfying meals. Otherwise, we'll make 1 meal per food. But if you've got a vegetable, you can have 2 meals out of that 1 piece of meat, which is the harder thing to come by. Now... wow, Marco's got 15... inventory. That is fantastic. I've not had someone with the skill scavenger before. You can get more survivors over time, but Marco is going to be the one checking that out, and Pavel is going to be sleeping in the bed. Bruno, I would like... I'm fairly certain, yeah, it's only 1 person can scavenge, but Bruno, I would like you to guard. Make sure that Pavel is okay. Now, we've got a few places that we can go to. The abandoned cottage. A family barricaded themselves in this house, but despite their efforts, looters got inside. It's been abandoned ever since. Still, we might find some useful things that the looters overlooked or left behind. There is lots of food, huge amounts of materials, some meds, lots of weapons, and some parts. There's a ruined villa. They say some people still live here, against all odds. They must have some supplies stocked, like canned food and possibly bandages or medicine. But they don't want to trade. If we're desperate, we could try to steal from them. Lots of food, huge amounts of materials, mares, weapons, parts, and quiet house. In this housing estate that remains almost untouched, it's a calm area of little houses with porches and gardens. Most of those are still inhabited. People are trying to lead normal lives here. We've got nothing to look for here unless we're willing to steal. Lots of food, huge amounts of meds, lots of parts. So already it's pretty much just said 2 of the 3 places we can go to at the moment, and more unlock over time. But we would be flat out just going and stealing from whoever lives there. There isn't a possibility of trade. It does tend to list that if there is such a possibility. So we would have to be going in there with a mindset of our need is greater, or we just don't care about you because we're more interested in our own survival. It's our group versus every other group kind of mentality. You're not us, therefore you don't matter. But we're going to be going to the abandoned cottage. Let's check this out. Now, I could take a lockpick with me, and I'm tempted to do so. You can take some tools, but obviously that's going to fill up your inventory. And if you absolutely have to leave something behind, you might leave your tool, and in which case it's a complete waste. But let's check this out. Now, being slightly wounded, they move a little bit slower. We can leave by going back there. The looters must have been in a hurry. There's still lots of stuff left. So let's have a look around. Now, we've only got a certain amount of time. If we take too long in this phase, then our unit will be stuck out in the daytime, and that is incredibly dangerous. They will try to make it back to us, but could easily die on the way. Gunpowder used to manufacture ammunition and explosives. Well, we don't really need it. That'll be one of the things I will drop first. Sniper. Ooh, that's not good to see. There's a little area down there. Now, as I was mentioning, this has a bit more of a dead-like feel to it. Ooh, lots of components and timber. Yes, we'll take all of that. Now, we can peek through doors. We can see this. This is showing me that there is movement inside. But what movement? Okay, I can see straight away that there's no one standing there. Looks like there's a rat in there by the seams of it. And everything else is okay. Can we open the door? Barred from the other side. Very well. Looks like we're going down into the basement then. Now, when there are other people, line of sight and cubby holes are very important because you can hide yourself. Kind of Abe's Odyssey style. If you just stand in like a shaded spot, then they might not be able to see you. They might even walk straight past. But I believe that some people do have a sneaking trait, and that will greatly enhance their ability to move around. But even just walking around, and you see these kind of little distortion rings, they're showing us how much noise our character is making, and if there's anyone in this location, they will hear that and might decide to come and investigate, or they could decide to just run away. It all depends. Now, I would like to take that, since I can fit it. We'll take that. I'm going to drop this behind. We've got a lot of timber here. I want some food, honestly. Now, there's quite a lot of things here. There's also medicine here, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that as well. Ooh. Weapon parts. Various weapon parts, blades, barrels, springs, locks, and so on. There's also coffee beans. There's also quality roll-ups. Roll-up made from equal parts of tobacco and herbs. Quite good under the circumstances. Can we stack that? Yes, we can. Now, this is the inventory management part, and why I was so surprised that he had so much space. I'm used to people only having 12. We'll take the weapon parts. I'll leave that behind. I don't think we have anyone who drinks coffee, thank goodness, because I would have serious concerns about keeping them alive if that were the case. But we do have someone who smokes, and as much as I think that that's a terrible, terrible habit to have, some people do have it, and we are going to do our best to try and make their suffering a little less horrendous. Alright, what have we got here? More electronic parts. I approve. No, we're going to leave that around. Now, this we can investigate. We'll probably also be able to open the house from this side. Family photo of parents and 2 daughters. Good thing the girls don't resemble their father. He looks like a bear. Okay. Fair enough. We have, so much food. This is very, very good. We've also got sugar as well that we could use to make some moonshine. We've also got herbs, but this is a bit of a difficult decision, honestly. I'm going to leave behind even more timber. I'm going to take 10 water. The water is going to be coming in very, very handy. We're going to continue to have a poke around, see what we can see. before we decide to leave. We've got empty shell casing. We've got this that I can stack, which is good. And let's continue looking around. Now, if I want to get back there, I'm going to have to dig my way through. And I don't really want to dig my way through. That would take an awful lot of time. Alright, what have we got here? A note that says, on the first day they robbed us. 2 days later, they murdered our girls. Oh. I shot every one of them, but I don't want to use the gun anymore. It's broken and buried in the backyard. The next part looks shaky. If you're reading this, don't look for me. Well, that's a little bit depressing. Moving on. Trying to forget. Let's see what we got here. We have got gunpowder, more parts. And it looks like we can pick this lock as well. What have we got in here? Nothing that I can see. Okay, I'm willing to poke a way in there. I imagine that's a rat. I'm fairly certain we would have already seen someone because there's no door over there that I could see anyway. Right, what have we got in here? We've got some cabinets. We have gone about halfway through the night. Some more weapon parts, some more electronic parts, some more cigarettes. What's this? Homegrown tobacco. We'll leave that there for now. I want to have a look at what else is here. We may come back here tomorrow as well to get more materials. Ooh, bandages. Definitely want that. And herbal meds. Oh, why are you giving me such difficult decisions? What about over here? I think we may have abandoned too much material to be able to build anything particularly good at this point. Which is a shame. I mean, we're taking 12 components and 6 extra timber with us. No, I'm going to drop that behind. I'm going to take the timber. I think we're going to need the timber. But we've got loads of food, loads of weapon parts. And can you get down here? No? Okay. I can always click on run to exit, in which case they will just leg it. They'll try and take whatever route is available to them to get to the exit, and they will run as fast as they can. Pavel has fast runner, so it would be particularly good in that situation. Generally, the only time you're going to want to use it is if you're starting to run out of time, in which case, if you get stuck out in the day, there's no guarantee you're going to make it back. It's not just a delay. There's every chance you'll be killed by snipers on the way back. And now by removing that, it's going to be easier to get in the house for us next time. But and here we are. That note that we read about the gun in the backyard has given us this little icon here to have a check. We've got more weapon parts and a broken pistol. No, we're going to leave the broken pistol, I think. We can come back and get gunpowder and shells and things like that on the next run. But we're going to leave now. We have got our backpack full of various survival goodies. Now, hopefully we're going to be able to do things over here once we're back. So this is the second day. Welcome to hell. It's very nice of you to welcome us so politely, but I'd rather not be here, honestly. Okay, I brought bandages. Now let's see to that wound. Oh, of course, yes. Marco actually has a wound, doesn't he? Well, I could bandage him up. I might do. He's tired, hungry, slightly wounded. Pavel is hungry. So Pavel has recovered without any medicine. That is really good. Okay, Pavel, let's get you up here. And how about you go and lie down for now? Right, Bruno. We are going to need to cook some food. Whether I like it or not, we're going to have to cook something. It's not going to be the most efficient, but we're just going to have to do it. And we're going to need fuel for each of these things. We can't make the efficient cooked food. We can make it out of timber, books, or even components. But actually, before we do that, Pavel, can you please have a look at what we need? I need some tools. So I don't want to use up all those components just yet. Let's have a look. We can make a weapon out of the weapon parts we've got. We can make a shovel, which will make digging through rubble significantly easier. We can make lockpicks. We can also make a crowbar. I've not used one of these, but I believe they have a fairly low durability. We are going to make a knife, and the knife is going to be kept with our guard, whoever is guarding. Just to try and help. But you can see how slow they're moving now because of that wound. Hopefully they'll find her a little bit easier now. Right, okay, we've got that knife. That's in the group's inventory. The last thing I want to check is... Drat. We did need more of those. Okay, well, we can't do anything about that now. I'm going to go ahead and make a radio, and we can then use that to try and get some news from the front lines. I'm going to place it down here, you know, perhaps keep the people who are in bed a little bit more comfortable. Right, Bruno, I need you to make some fuel. We are going to have to use the timber, and we can use 1 timber, basically, or 4 components to make 1 piece of fuel, or 1 book. But we've got more of this, so we're going to make... They're hungry, and I could let them get very hungry to conserve food. But no, we're gonna make 3 meals, and they're all going to eat tonight. But tomorrow we're gonna start rationing food. We'll give them a small reprieve this evening. Also, I definitely want you to eat because you're unwell, and I think that every other little perk that I can give you is going to help, basically. But actually, having said that, maybe I will only make 1. I could have you make 3. We don't have that much food or water. Go ahead and make 1 for now. It is going to use the same amount of fuel regardless. We don't get a bonus for making multiples, so make 1 for now. And then we'll see. Right, I'm going to have you go up there, ready to get your food. And Pavel, as soon as... Oh, actually, Bruno, could you come down here? I want to check. Can you make another bed? Because ideally, I would like 2. That way, I can have 2 people resting through the day. But for now, Pavel is going to tune into the radio. Now, there's a little bit of a game here. Well, I call it a game. You basically have to tune the radio. On the current station, the rebel leader is instructing us to warn the listeners not to cross the front line. Failure to comply could result in death. Now, if we can get the this tuned in to a solid white, then you'll get a new station. Some classical music is playing. That's quite nice. Over here we've got the upcoming days should still be nice and warm, perfect for a stroll in the park. So that's the weather station, so we know that we're not going to be having any particularly bad storms. And just static. Anything else? No, nothing that way. Okay. I think this is the rebel leader. Let's continue looking for another station. We've got something. Despite desperate counterattacks by the rebels trying to lift the siege of Pogorin, the city remains cut off. Government forces do not allow any aid to reach the city, claiming it would end up in rebel hands. And damn all of our citizens who put their faith and trust in us because they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Stupid government. Okay, we'll leave her on. Let's try and get a solid one there. There we go. Some classical music for people to chill out to. Right, what kind of... Ah, damn, we need just 2 more. That is remarkably unfortunate. Now, I could make this, but I don't really think there's much point. It would be nice to have a chair. It might make people feel a little bit better. But no, we're gonna keep hold of our materials for now. Right. In the meanwhile then, Pavel, could you actually I need you to break through that door. I wonder, Bruno, what materials have we got? We'll have Marco eat, and Bruno can check out. We've got another lockpick we can make. Go ahead and make a lockpick. We are going to have, let's see, let's get Pavel all the way up there. You're only hungry at the moment, so you're okay. We'll have you, oops, yes, too late, you've already told you to do it. I've got too many people walking around. I thought that door was perhaps unlocked, but it doesn't appear to be. Right, why don't you go and rest on the bed, Marco. Pavel, you go sit on the chair. And Bruno, you can start digging your way through here so we can get to that later on. Now, we can end the day at any time. Obviously, if you've reached a point where you're just waiting on materials, then once you've fed people, once you've made sure that the sick are resting, things like that, there's literally nothing for you to do. Obviously, we do have quite a lot of things to do, but eventually we will run out. We will have explored all of these locations, and we'll just be waiting at that point. Hopefully you can get enough... See, they're slightly wounded recovering. Hopefully you can get enough rest to be alert ready for nighttime. If we had 2 beds and I could have 2 people resting and they would be able to recover before nighttime, ready to go out again. They'd basically sleep through the day, go out at night. And I imagine that's what we're going to be doing with Marco as soon as we've got the ability to do so. It doesn't look like that actual door down there could be opened, it seems. So I'll have you get down there. I should have had a look at that. But you can double click to make them run. I don't know if that fatigues them. It may do. It certainly looks cool, but we'll see how that goes. Let's get through here. I believe this needs to be needs to have the lock picked, so it's fine for now. We won't be able to get there. And yes, you could use a shovel. Alas, we do not have one. Unless Bruno finds one in the cupboard over here. No, we have found some jewelry, which will be useful for trades. Now, occasionally, crazy folk will brave the daytime snipers to try and come and trade with us, and that's always pretty nice, but yeah, not something we can do. If we want to trade, we have to go somewhere with people that has trading at nighttime, taking our wares with us. And perhaps if we can get moonshine still, or perhaps even a small garden, we can start growing our own tobacco, then we will actually use those materials. But I think night is almost upon us. So I'm going to wrap this episode up there. We've made it to day 2. We are about to enter night 2. I do hope you've enjoyed the episode so far, and I hope you will be joining us in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.